After a new month of testing, I determined that the Dyson V15 Detect is the better stick vacuum because it includes 2 rollers, one specifically designed for hard surfaces. But the Dyson V11 torque drive and the V11 Animal are also great options for those with mostly carpeting in their house and for those who want to save a little bit of money. If you want to learn how I reached my conclusion, keep watching as I go through 3 different categories: how they clean on carpet, how they clean on hard floors, and then I'll go over the design, and then I'll wrap things up with a which one is best for you, and I'll make my final recommendation. The V11 comes with a high torque cleaner head that has an adjustable front grate. I tend to leave the gate closed because it'll go deeper on the carpet, but it's harder to push it at times because of the crazy suction power. But if you have to clean up spills or bigger objects on your carpet, just open up that gate and then it will allow bigger pieces inside. The V11 in its max mode has 185 air watts of power, which makes it one of the most powerful cordless vacuums on the market. The only problem with this max mode is that the runtime is only 8 minutes long. Because of the short runtime in the max mode, it's best only to use the max when you're cleaning up a high traffic area or just a spill. But there's no doubt that it's great for going super deep on the carpets. I just don't think it's something that you need to do all the time. For routine vacuuming, the medium mode seems like the perfect amount of suction power, and you'll get 43 minutes of runtime. And the V11 has a low suction power too, and you'll get up to 66 minutes of runtime, but it's just not enough power to use on carpet, so you'll have to stick with that medium mode. The V15 comes with an almost identical high torque cleaner head compared to the V11. The V15 has a max mode with a 230 air watts of suction power compared to just the 185 from the V11. That's about 20% more power, and this power is nice to have, but it wasn't really essential, and it doesn't seem like you could see the difference in real life. Let me show you a quick demo of both models in each suction mode, cleaning up a rice and popcorn mixture. Keep in mind, there's nothing definitive or scientific about these tests, so I'm not sure how much value it brings, but my real world testing didn't differ that much from the tests. Not only does the V15 max mode have more suction power, you'll get an extra minute of runtime as well. The V15 compared to the V11 seem to have similar runtimes on the low and the medium suction power. You'll get 45 minutes on medium and 65 minutes on low. And just like the V11, the low suction power probably isn't enough to use on carpet. While vacuuming on carpet, the screen on the V15 shows the number of particles being picked up. So the V15 might be a better bet for those with allergies due to the combination of the particle reader and the more powerful suction. If you need to go as deep as you possibly can on carpet with a cordless vacuum, the V15 is definitely the answer. But the V11 isn't too bad either. And assuming that you can find the V11 for at least $100 less than the V15 and you have a lot of carpeting, I think the V11 will make a lot of people happy, and it's definitely a better value. The V11 comes with just one roller, the high torque cleaning head. The good news is that you never have to think about switching rollers. Just vacuum and let the cleaner head do its job. And as you move from hard floors to carpet or the other way around, you can actually hear the mode on the cleaning head change, and I'll show you a demo of that now. The V11 has the same runtime on hard floors as it does on carpet. Usually the low suction mode is just fine on hard floors, but I still find myself using the medium suction at my house because my house isn't very big, so I might as well utilize the more suction power because I don't need all that extra battery. You know, on hard floors, you'll never need the max mode because it's just overkill, it's too much. Overall, I have no complaints about the V11 on hard floors. It gets the job done. The V15 has the same auto adjustment when switching floor surfaces, but it also makes adjustments based on the particles that it detects. If objects appear heavier, it'll add in some extra suction power. It's a cool feature, but keep in mind that it can be a bit annoying on your ears as the suction power quickly switches back and forth. The V15's all-purpose cleaning head works well on all surfaces, but it's not quite as efficient on hard surfaces. And that's why the V15 takes things to the next level on hard surfaces, because it includes a second roller called the Laser Slim Fluffy Roller. Previous models like the Dyson V10 Absolute and the V8 Absolute included a similar soft roller, but for some reason, Dyson decided not to include a soft roller with any of the variations of the V11 that are sold in the US. But I'm glad that the fluffy roller made a comeback this year with the V15 because it really is essential for those with lots of hard floors. So let's go over a few reasons why the Laser Slim Fluffy Roller is a game changer on hard surfaces. It turns out that one of the main reasons why vacuums struggle cleaning up fine dust is because of static electricity. So the fluffy roller actually has carbon fiber filaments inside of it, which help counteract that static electricity. The second advantage is a green laser, which has never been featured on a Dyson soft roller. Before buying the V15, I thought that the laser would be a total gimmick because vacuums have had lights on the front of them for years, but I was completely wrong. The green laser perfectly lights up the dust, which helps guide you to where you need to vacuum. With the green laser on, it's almost impossible to miss spots, and it's great for getting under furniture like the bed. The funny thing is, I kind of hate this feature because it exposes how terrible my vacuuming skills are and just how dirty my house actually is. Things look clean to my eyes, and then once the laser's on, my house looks like a mess. One thing to note is that in super bright rooms, the laser isn't as useful. So during the daytime, I would turn off the lights, which would create the perfect amount of light so that I could see the laser. The third feature is just better handling. The fluffy roller is lighter than the torque head, making it easier to maneuver. On hard floors, if I make a swipe with the high torque head, and then I go right over it with the fluffy head right after, I can still hear it pick up debris. I think you'll get all the debris with the regular torque head if you crank up the suction power, or you just go over your area multiple times. But the fluffy head is definitely picking up more per swipe, and it's more efficient. And it's just more satisfying. The fluffy head does a better job with objects like rice and cereal compared to the high torque head. And just to prove a point, I made a quick demo. I'll use the V11 with the fluffy head, and then I'll use the V15 with the high torque head, each on medium suction. And as you can see, the roller that was used is way more important than which model was used. The only downside to having multiple rollers is that the fluffy head doesn't work at all on carpets. So that means you'll have to swap out rollers as you move throughout your house and move on to different surfaces. For my house with mostly hardwood, I just like to do one run with the fluffy head throughout my whole house on the hardwood, and then once I'm done, I'll do the carpets later. The fluffy head with the V15 is great because of the new lasers, but interestingly, it wasn't quite as good with big debris as the fluffy head that came with the V10 Absolute or the V8 Absolute. The old fluffy head could pick up popcorn kernels really easily, but for some reason the new one kind of kicked them. But for things like dust and smaller objects, the fluffy head is awesome. You'll get 65 minutes on low suction power and 45 minutes on medium suction power, and usually the low suction is just fine. And theoretically, you could get up to 15 minutes on the max suction mode on hardwood with the soft roller, but this is just overkill and would never be necessary. The Dyson V15 and the V11 have almost identical designs. They weigh the same and have the same size dustbin with the same removal mechanism. You rarely have to get your hands dirty, but you may occasionally have to grab some hair when emptying the bin. They come with the same cleaning tools, and the only difference is that the mini motorized brush, which is great for cleaning out the car or furniture, on the V15 it's slightly angled, which helps hair get tangled less often. Neither vacuum is ideal for cleaning areas above your head because it's tiring on your wrist, but they can be used as a handheld for furniture and cars without a problem. The V15 and the V11 both come with a docking station for charging. The V11 battery can't be removed without unscrewing it, while the V15 battery is fully replaceable. People have been asking Dyson for removable batteries for years. But overall, it's probably not that useful to have a spare battery because I doubt that you'll have to vacuum for longer than 40 minutes at a time. But a spare battery might be helpful if you plan to do long, deep cleaning sessions and you plan to do these sessions frequently. Lithium-ion batteries only have a certain amount of charge cycles before they start to lose some charging capacity. So with the V15, you'll always have the option to easily swap out that old battery and purchase a new one. The V11 torque drive and the V15 have similar screens with a dynamic runtime countdown that adjusts as you switch attachments and suction power. The display will show error messages like a misaligned filter or a clog as well. But the V15 takes things a step further and shows the number of dust particles being sucked up. I hardly look at the screen on either model because I have a small house and I don't really worry about runtime very often. And I didn't find the display with the dust particles on the V15 very informative or useful. I think it's just a gimmick. And the final thing that I'll go over in the design is the loudness. I tested the decibel levels for both models and for each suction level, and there wasn't really much of a difference. The V11 is slightly louder than the V15 in the max mode, while the V15 is slightly louder in the medium and the low suction modes. Get the V15 Detect if you need the deepest clean on carpet possible with a cordless vacuum. And if you have lots of hard floors, I think it's a must-have because of that fluffy roller. As long as you don't mind switching rollers as you switch surfaces, this is definitely the best overall vacuum. Get the Dyson V11 if you have mostly carpeting in your house and you're looking to save a little bit of money. The V11 only comes with one head, the high torque head, and it's a great all-purpose head. It'll work great on hard surfaces and carpets, but it's not really optimal for hard surfaces like the fluffy roller. And if you already own a V11 and you want the fluffy roller from the V15 or the previous fluffy rollers will work on the V11. And you can buy the new fluffy laser head for $120. Another great option for those with lots of hard floors is the Dyson V10 Absolute. The V10 Absolute comes with a fluffy head and it's about 2 years old, and I did a review on it last year and I still stand by everything that I said in that review. It's great. And if you don't need the latest and greatest tech, which you probably don't, it might be a great way to save a couple $100. So if you have any questions about these vacuums or you think I missed something, let me know in the comments below. That's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching. I'm out.